So I know that a lot of students are really looking out for scholarship opportunities, and people get very excited when they hear the word scholarship, right? You know, I remember when I was applying for my scholarship, my MasterCard Foundation scholarship, somewhere in 2013. I had applied for a number of scholarships. I had gotten into a few partial scholarships, but the MasterCard Foundation was a full scholarship, and it matched my profile perfectly. But the unfortunate thing is that many people just want to apply for scholarship just because it's a scholarship. And so I'm just here to get you to understand that applying for scholarship is almost like a matchmaking, right? So if your profile does not match with what the scholarship secretariat or the scholarship body is looking for, then I don't see why you should waste your time, you know, putting in all that effort when you can actually channel that energy into finding a scholarship that really matches your profile. So these are the things to look out for when you want to apply for a scholarship. Okay, first of all, make sure that you know what countries are eligible. Some scholarship, you know, websites. So there are some websites that post scholarships, and they'll tell you, oh, this scholarship is for all of Africa. But it could possibly be that it's for maybe only 3 or 4 countries in Africa. So make sure you go onto the scholarship website, get to see what the scholarship website is actually saying. If they say that it's for every country. Okay, let me give you an example of something I experienced with a client of mine recently who wanted to study in New Zealand. Okay, so on the website, on a particular website that we saw the scholarship, we're like, oh yeah, Manaki scholarships is for all of Africa. Great. Okay, even chanced upon a few videos that were all telling us that, you know, everyone in Africa is, you know, eligible, only to go onto the website and they had written a little, you know, disclaimer that just for the year, this particular academic year 2024-2025, and probably some years to come, they are excluding Ghanaians and Nigerians and some other nationals because they've been sending too many applications to that university. So you see, even though it applies to all of Africa, for a particular period of time, it will not apply to Ghana and Nigeria. That's why I keep saying, make sure that your country is eligible. Okay. Another thing you should check is the age requirement. A lot of scholarships have age limits. Okay, so some of them may go like 35 and above, you shouldn't apply. 25 and above, you shouldn't apply. Make sure that you have that, and don't try to change your age because they are going to ask you for your birth certificate, you know, and you have to be able to prove it, and it will be unfortunate if you send any, you know, false documents, because that's going to go against your application. So kindly don't do that. Just look for another scholarship that matches your age requirement. Okay, or their age requirements, sorry. So the next thing is the courses applicable. Okay, that's one thing that really gets to a lot of people. They'll just read through it quickly and like, okay, great, I can apply for this, but later you find out that it's only for specific courses. Okay, sometimes too, there are some scholarships that are only for research based, some that are also only for taught courses. Okay, so you have to establish all of these ones. Also, are they for the master's level, the undergrad level, or the PhD level? Don't be too much in a hurry to apply for a scholarship that probably only applies to the undergraduate level when you are looking for a graduate scholarship. So check for that as well, the courses applicable. Next is the grade requirements. Okay, most of the time the merit-based scholarships have grade, you know, limits or grade requirements. So they expect you to either have a first class or you should have a second class upper. Most of the time you enter the second class upper for, you know, merit scholarships. There are other scholarships that may expect you to have a specific average or a specific grade point, you know, average. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you match that, because they're going to ask you for your transcripts, they're going to ask you to prove that as well. Also, next, check for language requirements. Okay, if they expect you to have, you know, proof of language requirements, if they expect you to have the IELTS or the TOEFL or other tests, you know, sometimes the university may have waived it for you, but the scholarship secretariat may want you to have those test scores. So make sure that you have those. If they expect you to write the IELTS and you will not be able to write it, then you probably may have to look out for another scholarship that matches register, or you can even reach out to the scholarship secretariat and ask them if there's a way they can waive it for you. But make sure that you do not just assume that because the university waived it, that the scholarship secretariat is also going to waive it for you. The next thing you should check out for is if they require a scholarship statement. Most of the time they do, so make sure you know exactly what the question is you are supposed to answer. Okay, read very carefully what they expect you to talk about in your scholarship statement and get to know what the word count is as well. Also check on documents required. If you're supposed to have specific documents, if you're supposed to have valid or official transcripts, okay, maybe not a photocopied one or not a soft copied one, you have to know all of those ones to be sure that you are providing the correct documents. Also check on recommendation requirements. If you're expected to have a number of recommendations, make sure you meet those requirements as well. If you are not someone who is able to provide any such recommendations, then you should advise yourself, or you should start looking for someone who can possibly help you to put together that recommendation. Also check if they expect any professional background requirements. Okay, if they want you to have like maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years experience in the professional field, make sure that you match that one as well. And then finally, please check the exact coverage of the scholarship. A lot of people tend to just hear scholarship and like, yay, I don't have to pay anything. Unfortunately, there are lots of scholarships that can be as low as like £1,000. Some of them are even like £500, but they still call them scholarships. Some of them are like $200, or some of them like are as high as like even $50,000. So you have to be able to know what the exact coverage is. Check, does it cover tuition? Does it cover living expenses? Does it cover books? Does it cover insurance, travel expenses? Based on what you hope to get, make sure that it matches your profile that way as well. So I hope you find this video very helpful. Kindly share it to anyone who is applying for scholarships.